where does it start? The physical form of the waving wave wall originally started in about 1995 when I did a project in China. And so that what the piece is actually about is a connection of many strands of work that have coincidentally and in a timely manner manifested in one piece of work. Never before have I loaded a load of color or objects behind the piece. I've always shown the front piece as one, or as the piece, not what's behind it. Initially, in the maquette, for presentation of feeling or the concept, the mood of the piece, I had just thrown a lot of different bits of glass behind and said, oh, it's interesting, look, the optical, the kinetic movement of seeing those pieces behind the lenticular glass. So the very first step was one evening. I sat there absolutely naked for a month or two. And then, with a little aiding and abetting, I began and just took half a dozen objects and just moved them behind there immediately and spontaneously, like a really vroom, vroom, dum, 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 dum gesture. I'll never be able to do that again the same way. And left it. And sort of walked around and, oh, where'd that piece of wood that's been sitting around the studio forever? It's finally found a home. It's parked at the end of the sculpture. I do like that blue. I've been intending to use that very pale cobalt and blue, the transparent watercolory wash at the far left of the composition. I had intended to use that all along. And then I began to combine different elements. This process of what is done immediately from the gut level, that forms the armature of the whole piece. Everything else from there on in is a process of intelligent editing and tickling. The immediate impulse comes from the left side of your brain, is free of reason. It comes from your guts, from your heart, from your spontaneity. And then the smart aleck comes in and starts to adjust, tweak, do clever things. And so you have to guard yourself against the smart aleck in yourself. That was the process witnessed here for, over a period of a couple of months of me also inviting people for comment, to ask people, what do you think? Because in fact, a lot of this stuff is downright objective. Well, oh no, I thought you had the big one on there.
That's the larger one.
Okay. Back, no, slower.
Yeah.
Very slow.
We'll get the right angle then.
Do we get that? Is that
Yeah,
better?
that gets brighter as it goes, so I don't know what's getting it.
Can you light directly into the pieces?
Yep.
Yeah. Like square on? Yeah, like that. Go ahead. One of the most important things about this whole sculpture is the interaction between the front membrane, this sort of wave wall, and what you see behind it. What happens on the front glass is all these individual layers have a total internal reflection. It actually splits the beam. So what you see through the collective strips of glass are about 3 or 4 views of the object. The colors, the images shift, the colors blend as the viewer moves. So it's not, the sculpture is completely static, but as you move, this whole kinetic event begins to occur, which is the mystery in the piece and the magic of it. Now, the other really important thing about how this sculpture works is that you're viewing illuminated pieces of glass through a veil. When you look at a solid object, your mind is able to look at it, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can understand it. This sculpture prevents you from doing that, which hopefully engenders a certain type of aesthetic shock and humility, because you can't get your head around this piece. There was a lot of discussion, should we cap the ends so people can't see what's behind? It's really important that people look at it from the front, see it first, get confused by it, wonder how it works and have a relationship with it in that state of unknowing. And then they go behind and go, oh, it's just a lot of glass positioned and a few light bulbs there. Ah, I see, okay, so it's not that complicated. So I think it's quite important in a popular museum where you're having people of all different ages, children, old folks, that there's something for everybody to grab hold of or relate to.